The talks between Ukraine and Russia have continued as Ukraine's president said his country should recognise that it won't join the military alliance of NATO. Our diplomatic correspondent James Landale has more.
Ukrainian troops northwest of Kiev, slowing the advance of Russian forces, hoping to save their capital and perhaps focus minds in Moscow. Officials from both sides continue to talk, looking for a negotiated settlement. The Kremlin said the discussions were positive, but neither side says where the progress is being made. Today, though, Ukraine's president addressed a gathering of Northern European leaders in London and dropped a hint of what might be part of any future negotiated settlement.
Ukraine is not a member of NATO. We have heard for years that the doors were open, but we also heard that we could not join. It's a truth, and it must be recognised.
That hint of giving up the idea of joining NATO may be seen by some as a concession to this man, Russia's foreign minister, who today, as he met his Iranian counterpart, set out some of Moscow's demands.
The neutral military status of Ukraine, security guarantees for all participants, the demilitarization of Ukraine, so that no threats to the Russian Federation ever come from its territory.
The European leaders, hosted by Boris Johnson, were not, however, in London to talk about possible peace deals, but how to bolster their defences in case the war spreads and increase their support for Ukraine.
This is quite unbelievable what is happening now in our continent, and we need to make sure that we build the strongest, widest possible coalition to ensure that Vladimir Putin does not succeed, that we wean ourselves off Russian hydrocarbons.
Western leaders know that a negotiated settlement will become possible only if Vladimir Putin sees no alternative. And that's why they're determined to keep up the pressure on Moscow, militarily, economically, and diplomatically. And what better way to do that than this? 3 NATO prime ministers from Poland, Slovenia and the Czech Republic visiting war-torn Kiev by train, a show of solidarity and Russia's failure to seize the capital. There were more economic sanctions for Russia too, the EU banning the export of luxury goods and Britain imposing asset freezes and travel bans on 370 Russians, including a defence minister, a former prime minister and oligarchs and their families, along with many allies of Vladimir Putin. But all the pressure, all the diplomacy has yet to halt the Russian advance, and the devastation of Ukraine's cities continues. James Landale, BBC News.